Hi Bromies, it's your boy Ricky here with Bromero Cards for Honeybee Stamps today, and I will be making, I hope to believe, a simple card. My plan is to make it simple. I'm not for sure how simple it will be, so we shall see as we go through the process. Let's go down to the let's go down to the desk to check out all the things we're going to be using today. If it's going to be a simple card, there shouldn't be a lot of things, but we're going to see about that. But before we go down and take a look at all these lovely items, I want to remind you guys to thumbs up this video, leave a comment, share this video, and then also click that bell in the corner so that you know a new video is coming out. All right, so let's go down and look at the stuff we're going to be using today. All right, so we are going to be using the Lovely Layers Apple Barrel set. Again, in these lovely envelopes that Honeybee Stamps has now for their dies and their stamps. Love these things. We're going to be using the Heartfelt Hello. I think I've used this in my past couple of videos along with the matching dies. Now I do have the one with the magnet in the back. I just have not removed these yet because I'm lazy. We're going to be using some various cardstock colors here. Lovely. And we're also going to be using some tumbled glass distress oxide and mowed lawn along with some brushes. So let me go ahead and clear off the desk and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is our die cutting here, and I've already cut out all the pieces of paper that I'm going to be using for the die cutting. We're going to be using some craft paper for the barrel. We're going to be using two different kinds of green for the leaves, red for the apples. We're going to be using yellow for the inside of the apple blossom. We're going to be using some mirror cardstock for the metal part of the barrel. And we're also going to be using this creamish color from Cardstock Warehouse. And the reason I like this is because I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera. I'll try to get it to zoom in. But there's like little specks of things inside the paper, and I think you can see that. And I think that will look really cool. Instead of me having to like color this in, it'll already have some things inside of it, so it kind of looks cool. So let's go ahead and get started die cutting. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with all the die cutting. Basically, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the barrel. And if you're new here, you'll see how a die cutting machine works. If you're not new, well, you know how this works, but we're going to show you anyway. I do have the stems in here. I will be cutting this out several times because I'm going to have several apples. So because this has some like details for the wood grain, I'm deciding to go ahead and put a shim down on this so that will show through onto the paper. So let me go ahead and push this through. Again, still in love with this miniature die cutting machine. It's pretty amazing. If you're looking for a non-electric one, Honeybee Stamps also has one that's a miniature die cutting machine, and I'll link that down in the description. But let's take a look at these really quick. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Take a look at that detail. That's going to look amazing. All right, so I am going to go off screen, die cut all of this, and then we'll be back with all the little pieces. Okay, we have everything cut out here, and I decided that I'm going to do a few things because as I was cutting things out, I was like, I'm not for sure if I'm feeling this. So the first thing I want to do is actually take the barrel, and I'm going to use some ground espresso, and I'm going to blend on this because I feel like it's a little too flat, and I think having a little bit of like darker ink on this might help. So I'm just going to take it and just kind of lightly put some on to the craft cardstock. I just want to give it a little bit of like a little more dimension. It just seemed kind of flat. So I think that helps. And then we'll do the same thing for the top part. Although now that I'm looking at it, it may not need it because there is a difference there. But I am going to be popping this up some foam tape. So maybe we'll just go over this lightly. Just to give it a little bit of oomph. It was just looking a little too flat for me when I was cutting it out. And I was like, I need to work on that. You know, that kind of happens when when we as creators are making things, because like for instance, I don't have this card pre-made. I did not create this card before I made this video, so I try to usually do that, but I've been really busy lately. So you know, as we start to create, we kind of like change our minds, right? Like we need to adjust to things, and us creators that are on YouTube and work for companies are just like you. We also have the same issues of where we're like, oh, this isn't looking too good. Does this need to go into file 13? Does it need to go in the circular file? Do it all the time. So anyway, now we're looking down at the barrel, and I think this helps, gives it a little more depth. So that's good. The second thing is with the apples. I thought they were looking a little too flat. So I decided I'm going to bring in some aged mahogany. And I'm just going to take that and just do a little bit around the edges. Just to give it a little bit of something there. And it doesn't all have to be on the same edge. It could be on that edge. You know, just enough to give them a little bit of depth here also. They were just looking a little too flat. You could probably also use a brown, like a darker brown maybe to do that with. But I decided to go with just a little bit of red, so that, or a reddish brown, I guess this is what this is, just so that it doesn't take over the whole apple. And then my favorite thing here, I think these are so pretty, is the apple blossoms. And these are going to be pretty simple to put together, because I'm not really going to do anything to these because they're already pretty on their own. They have this little specks of stuff in the paper, so I don't really have to do anything there. So all I'm going to do is take these little yellow pieces, the stamens or whatever they're called, and I'm just going to pop those in the middle. So we have that. And then one last thing to put together is the apple barrel piece. And I decided to do this with metal, or I'm sorry, like a metallic, like a silver metallic paper, because I just thought it would look cool with that. So let me get this lined up. So we have that like that. And then what we'll do is we'll then glue this down to the top of the barrel. And I just think this looks really cool. Hold that down to make sure it sticks. So, and then as I start putting the card together, I think this will look a lot better. I think that's so neat. I think it's just really cool. All right, let me go ahead. Oh, one more thing. Another thing about the apples. I'm going to pull out a self-healing mat here. I want to put these little stems in the apple, so I'm just going to follow this line here, make a cut. And I'll probably have to take my scissors here to do this, but I just want to tuck that into the apple like that. I just think it looks more realistic. I like that. That line is probably for that. And, you know, that will just help also with the leaves. Oh my God, that's so adorable. I just can't right now. That is so freaking cute. I am dying. Literally. Ugh, I love this. All right, let me go ahead and clear off this desk, and we'll be back and we'll start doing some other parts of the card. Okay, so now that we have all of our little pieces together, my idea to keep this kind of simple is just to do a little bit of ink blending. So I'm going to pull in Mowed Lawn here. And my idea is just to kind of ink blend on the left here. So let's just take a little bit of this. And just kind of want to ink blend around this area. Okay. looks really green on camera. It's not as green as it looks, not as neon actually. And then my idea was to take some tumbled glass and then just come from this side. And just kind of make it look like it's kind of like fading out. So that's kind of my idea. Let me just wipe this off so that everything doesn't get messy. And then let's just take a look to see how this is looking. Yeah, I kind of like that. I might bring out the blue just a little bit more here. So just take the, and I already have ink on the brush, so I don't really need to put any more ink on there. And maybe the green, just kind of blend that out a little bit more. It isn't as green as it looks on the camera though, you guys. I don't know. Yeah, it looks really green here, but it's not as green. But I'm kind of feeling this. And then I think what I'm going to do is kind of put a bunch of these apples into the barrel here. Maybe kind of like that. And then put some of the apple blossoms here on the barrel. So kind of like that. So I think this is how I'm going to go with it. What I'm going to do is just do this off camera, but I already put foam tape on the barrel, so there's kind of a layer there already. So what I'll do is I'll put all this together and then I'll come back so that we can start doing the sentiment. Okay, so now that we have the apple barrel done here, I have put everything together. I just haven't put it down onto the card base yet because I'm still trying to figure out the sentiment. I do know it's going to be on black paper, white embossing powder. That's my go-to. I'm just trying to figure out which sentiment to put on here. These do come with matching dies, so I'll be able to actually cut the die out. And I'm thinking either Always Thinking of You or Heartfelt Hello. And I think it might be Heartfelt Hello. I'm not for sure if Always Thinking of You is good here for the apple barrel. I don't know, you guys. I think To My Cherished Friend, maybe? I think I'm going to go with Heartfelt Hello. I think that's a good one. So, alright. Let's go ahead and take that off. And I'm just going to use an acrylic block today for this. Hopefully it goes well. Alright, we're going to rub that down because it is a brand new stamp. And we're going to use some anti-static powder here so that the embossing powder doesn't stick. Alright. We're going to stamp this up really good with some clear embossing ink. Let it sit for a second to make sure it looks good. And then we're going to throw some white embossing powder on here the lazy way. Tap it off, looks great. So what I'll do is I'll take my heat embossing gun, I'll go ahead and heat this up, melt the embossing powder, and I'll be back. Okay, so all we have left to do is pretty much the greeting. So I have the greeting here, the sentiment, and I do have the die already onto the sentiment. So we will run this through the die cutting machine really quick. Perfect. There we go. Looks nice. All right, let's go ahead and move this out of the way and we can go ahead and finish up this card. All right, so I think what I want to do is go ahead and glue down the basket here. So cute. I love that. And then I think for the sentiment, I kind of want to put it here. I think that's the great place for it. So I'm just going to get some foam tape here and put that back there. Let's see how much. All right, so I need some here. Trying to peel off some of this extra I have stuck to the side here that I can use. So I never throw little pieces away. I always just stick it to the side of the roll to hopefully use it all. Because y'all, foam tape can be expensive. All right, let's see where we are here. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then we'll put a little glue here. Sure it's even. We'll put block down on that for a second to make sure that it gets stuck. And then you guys, I think this card is going to be done. All right. Wow, look at that. Pretty simple. I love this. I love kind of like the white space, the colors coming off to the side. Really simple card. I love all the little shading area of the apples, and the barrel here was really nice. It was a good added touch, and I love the silver here. So this was really fun to make this. I love a simple card, and again, all of it was die cutting except for the sentiment, which I had to do some heat embossing. Let me hold up the card to the forward facing camera so you can see it maybe in a better light. Check that out. That is so freaking adorable. Those little apples by themselves, I was dying. Like, I was like, oh my God, we love a miniature everything, and those are so miniature. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. Make sure that you head over to Honeybee Stamps and check out all the latest products. Again, you guys, these envelopes for the stamp sets, perfect. Also, check them out over on Instagram and Facebook. And then you can also check me out over on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram by searching for Bromero Cards. All the products will be linked in the description below. Also, make sure you click that bell so that you know a new video is coming out from Honeybee Stamps. So thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you later. Bye.